Within this lesson, we're going to talk more about customizing the appearance of your WordPress site. So in the previous lesson, we talked about themes, and there's quite a lot of options for themes. So you could really spend quite a lot of time until you find the actual theme that you want. A lot of different options. When it comes to appearance, so we've got this ability to customize. So again, this is going back to what we had talked about earlier, where we've got multiple different ways to access the same thing. So this is like a quick menu to customize. Go back to the dashboard. So themes, customize, we've already looked at. In this lesson, we're going to talk about widgets. So widgets are actually what's going to appear. So depending on what your theme looks like is how your depending on how your widgets are structured on your page. You might have more than one widget area. You might have an area here. So I'm going to just quickly switch to a different theme because I think that this one actually has more widget areas, so it'll make a lot more sense. So that one, that 2015, had that one widget here area here on the left hand side that when we're looking at, this was the widget area that was being referred to. So now when I go to widgets, we see that I don't only have a sidebar widget, or it's just not just labeled widgets. I've got quite a lot more options. I've got 4 different footers. I've got a sidebar, and I've got some inactive widgets. So if I want to add these widgets in, I could simply add these in. But right now within this theme, these ones aren't going to be showing up. So I don't really need to have these widgets. These widgets are existing from the original install, where it was actually using archives and recent comment widgets, which gave us the ability to customize those. So again, it depends on the theme that you have, what you're going to see here in this widget area. And I've switched over to this theme because it's got quite a lot more going on. So now when I refresh my page, I can see that I do have all these widget areas. And the first one that we're going to look at is going to be the sidebar. So in the sidebar, we have search, we have posts, categories, and meta. So we have search, categories, posts, and meta, or different order. So if I wanted to change the order of these, if I wanted to put meta up here at the top and refresh the page, so watch what happens to meta here. So it gets moved up right to the top. So this is how the sidebar works, and then because this is the main sidebar, this is actually going to be the same sidebar we're going to use on different themes. When we go to footer, we see that these are blank right now, but we do have the ability, if we wanted to add in footer stuff, we could add that in there. So if we had a custom menu here in our footer, so I do have a menu set up, so I can save that there. And now we see that within a footer, we've added in a custom menu. So sometimes with the themes, you gotta look around and think, okay, well, where is this actual footer setting up? So we see that this footer is setting up here. So this is footer 1. And again, they could vary depending on where in the theme it's located. You can also add in a search. So if I had a search that I wanted to add in there, it's just as easy as this. And you can see here that I'm actually able to duplicate these widgets. So I'm able to have widgets in any one of these sections of the site. So just because I've already used search doesn't mean I can't have search in every single section of the widget where I want search to be. So I can have search up there, I can have it down here, and so on. One thing to notice is that when I do change the title here, just show you what happens here. When I do change the title, I save it. I have the ability to have different titles. So I can search my site, and so on. So it doesn't necessarily mean that each widget has to be named the same, even though it has the same functionality. So this one's really cool. I usually do like this tag cloud. So maybe I can just call it common tags or something like that. We can link to categories and so on. So this is one that should be adding in here. So common tags here. So this one doesn't really have that great of a tag cloud. So that's something that maybe if we want to use, we'd look up. We have this RSS and so on. And then just as easily as adding them, you could simply remove them out if you don't want them anymore. So now, if I want to change my theme again and change it back to this one, so I think this one is a little bit less busy than that one. And so now we see that even though we've made some changes, it's only going to be using, when we go back to widgets, we see that our changes are still here, but now we've got a whole bunch of these inactive widgets. So these are just things that we're not using anymore, that are not compatible with the current theme. So we can, or we, depending on what we want to do, we can add them and update them. Here we've got ability if I want to add in some text information. So if I want to have a textual message here, I can add that in. I also have option here for adding in the pages, so links to all the different pages. So if I wanted to add that in here, these are my pages. Yeah, and then you've also got options like calendar, and you can even add additional widgets in. So you've got you can update your widget area this way. So this is more of a visual approach to updating your widgets. So that's the Manage Customizer, and that's exactly what we were doing over here as well. And you'll find that as you add in different plugins, you might get access to different widgets. And that's the whole idea with WordPress, is that you customize the site using plugins, using the appearance to make it look like you want, and then pages, posts are completely separate. This is just content. Pages, media, posts, comments is all the content of the site, and then the actual appearance is tied into plugins that could update what's available for appearance. And then appearance is exactly the way that you want it to look.